Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're on this Monday morning. Got a great week lined up, a good show today, and the rest of the week got some guests coming in, some good video, all kind of exciting things here on Panhandle Outdoors. As always, we appreciate your viewership. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High today, 86, low 77, and water temperatures at 84 degrees. Really nice. And of course, you know what tomorrow is, the opening of a scallop season, and we're a lot of excited folks, and I'll be one of them excited also. Monday moon forecast tonight, new moon. It's a dark moon. It'll be a great night to go flounder gigging. Tonight and tomorrow night will be the new moon, and our full moon is going to be about 2 weeks from tomorrow. So it's going to have, we're going to be in a waxing moon starting Wednesday morning, and it's going to be slowly building up. So it's going to be good as far as the moon. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home Cemetery. High tide this morning at 10:30. Today's the 24th. High tide at 10:30 a.m. and low tide at 9:03. Good strong tides this week, but now this weekend, look at Saturday. Friday and Saturday, completely neap tides, not much movement at all. Now listen, sometimes I talk about the neap tides and say nothing's going to happen. That's not true. You still catch a lot of fish on neap tides. You just have to work a little bit harder and a little bit smarter. A lot of times it's dictated too by what the wind is doing. The wind's going to be pushing water different directions. So, you know, if it's coming out of south-southeast, you know, you get on the west end of the bay, you're going to still get some good movement. You're going to get the water pushed up there and all. So don't let the neap tides scare you away from going fishing on Saturday morning, but just be aware of what's going on, all right? All right, we're going to go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. As always, this segment, I do a lot of pictures. Y'all are good about sending them in. I sometimes get them off social media and try to pick some of these funny ones. And look at today's forecast. That sort of hit me. This summer has been just like this, especially last week. So today's forecast is going to be so hot enough it's going to melt that fan. And y'all remember those old box fans? If you around my age, that was a big deal back then. Our next picture, we talked about the deer last week. Showed some nice pictures from Pam Kirkland, but this is up at White Western Lake, Johnny Conrad, and it's just showing the bucks are moving around and also in velvet, and that is a good-looking set of rack right there. That's a nice picture there, Johnny Conrad at White Western Lake. Listen, we're sort of getting a late notice on this but it's a spotted sea trout workshop. It's scheduled. If you want any input on the sea trout, the speckle. Okay, the little specks, you know, we always catch it, we call them trout and all, but they call them a spotted sea trout. But Carabel tomorrow night, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock local time, but here in Panama City, July 26th. Now, it'll be Wednesday night, and it will be from 6 to 8. It's going to be at the Student Union, same place I always have it over at Gulf Coast College. And Carabel is going to be at American Legion. That's the two here in this area. And then it moves all over the state. And I always get a kick out of seeing the places like Crystal River and Naples, and you get a lot of these fishing places. But anyway, that is the Spotted Sea Trout Workshop. For if you want any input on it, you think we got too many out there, not enough, whatever, this is when you go to them and talk to them about it, okay? Our next picture, let's see, here's Arisha Seeley Dutton with mom, Joyce Vickers, mom fishing down at a creek. Look at that good-looking lady with that pretty fish right there. I'd love to see that. Okay. For Michael Harris, the Southeastern Dog Hunters Association having a bass tournament fundraiser. Is a long way off now for what we do. It's September the 2nd, but go ahead and put it on your calendar. That's the first weekend of September. That's over in Blackwater Creek area, but it's going to be a big tournament over there. It's a fundraiser. They work with the Autism Awareness group over there, and that's a good situation there. We'll have barbecue and all that. And it's going to be at Carpenter's Park at the South Landing on September 2nd. And I try to get Michael on here to talk about it. So Michael Harris got 2 or 3 things coming up. Okay, here's this clock right here. He said, hey, Winston, saw this clock recently and thought about you and your old outdoor wear class. I may have to make one soon for myself. I thought it was pretty cool with Bill Angevine. Check that out. That is so cool. That's fishing, old fishing lures, and that would be a great student project. And I really like that. Bill, thank you for sending that. I'm going to send it to Coach Wilkie for a new outdoor ed class. But I bet there'll be some kids want to make something like that. So I'll send them that picture and let them show it to this year's upcoming class. And you folks there, show it to some of your kids. They might want to make something like that. Okay, I got one more picture right through here, right here. My good friend Kurt Davis, his lovely wife Sandy Davis, and they took an Alaska trip, one of those dream trips. And here he is, the most memorable day of our vacation, getting to help my bride catch a salmon. This is Sandy Davis and I go way back. We sort of kin way back several generations back. She's assistant superintendent of schools now. Grew up on Lake Talquin, and Kurt's hidden on the other side. But Kurt's a really good fisherman, great singer, and all good folks there. And I'm so glad that we got that picture, and so glad you got to go. Good job. Okay, now I took the name off of this, but I'm gonna read it to you. Okay, this is local. All right. I'll be glad when these rental pontoon people are gone. Was knocking the fish dead this morning on the Shell Island Flats until about 8:30 when the spores, with the stupid people on rental equipment, showed up. One boat ran so close to shore that there's no way he wasn't plowing up the bottom. Not sure it would have been in that close with my Yamaha up and trolling motor down. Anyway, I want to mention this. We get a lot this time of year, a lot of people renting the pontoon boats, a lot of people going out on rentals and all, and they're not familiar with the bay. St. Joe Bay is getting all chewed up now with people going out there that's not from around here. Shell Island, you can see the scars all over the place. Just be aware of that. But the point I want to make right here, remember I've said it all summer long, if you want to catch some fish, you better get out there at daybreak and go ahead and start wrapping up your day about 9 o'clock, because that's when the Yahoo's going to get out there. And just be aware of that, and don't lose patience with them anything, because you know what's coming, and they have a right to use it, even though it's not. We don't want them to abuse it, and a lot of times they abuse it unknowingly. So it's up to us to let them know what's going on. Also, just want to be aware of that. I thought that was funny. I was posted last night, but I thought that's what we put up with here. In a tourist community. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let me mention this. Last week we had the Florida Forest Service on, and they had several programs, the southern pine beetle, the longleaf pine, and the Kogan grass treatment. They left me 3 pamphlets. What I want to just mention to you again, these programs, a couple of them run out, deadline is at the end of this month. So if you're interested in checking with them, go and do it this week, because this is the last week of July. So go ahead and call their office and make sure you get applied if you're interested in those programs. Great idea. I want to do one myself if I get some time to do it. Staying real busy right now. Listen, this next little situation, this is fascinating, but before I get into it, I want to mention this. If you remember, if you've been a long-time viewer, when we first started doing the show, a guy was with us. He wasn't with us. Captain Roy and I were doing the show, and a guy named Joe Hebert, he was from down around the Tarpon Springs, Tampa area, and he would come up, and he had this little jig called a Silly Willie. And he brought us some, and Captain Roy fished with it, and I fished with it. And in fact, I still have some Silly Willies, and I got a little bit of everything, but they were really good lures. And he worked with us about 2 or 3 years, and the last time he was up, he told me, he said, Winston, we went out and fished a little bit. He said, I'm concerned. He said, some of the people are trying to knock off my bait. By knocking off means they're trying to copy it. And I said, well, you have a patent? He said, I have a patent, but they'll get real close to it and all that. But anyway, and basically that's what happened. He actually went out of business, folks. Somebody copied and actually got it produced over in China, and they had it copied, and they renamed it something else. And I've seen it out before. And but that's one thing when you make tackle and all, you got to just be careful knockoffs. Well, with that in mind, I'm gonna read you this story. I'll show you this story right here. This is I just picked this up the other day. Here's the guy I'm talking about right here. Okay, take a look at his face right there. His name is Steve Sparks. Now this is an ICAST last week, or week before last now. Steve Parks marched down. I'm gonna read this to you because it's fascinating. Steve Parks marched across the show floor, the 10th degree black belt and Strike King Lures designer, okay? Strike King Lures, he designed for them. So he made all these baits for them. He's a designer. He was angry. Someone had infringed on his patent, he said, and under the bright lights of ICAST, he was going to confront the perpetrators. All right, so everybody know where we are. So he's mad. He's walking around the floor. He looks down. He sees his lure that he invented, and he had a patent on it. Okay, it happened the first day I was there, Parks tells. One of my buyer groups came up and told me that the Rage Tail Crawl was in the new product showcase. Now that new product showcase is a separate room where all the new stuff is coming out, and everybody wants to, do good there, so you get good reviews. We always went there first. Parks, who's been manufacturing Rage Tail products with Strike King since 2006, he's been doing 11 years now. He knew that didn't add up. That's when he decided to take action. I love this. After being denied entry in the new product showcase, they won't let him in because he didn't have the right credentials. You got to have a press pass or be a owner, but I don't know. They won't let him in the door because they got security there and all kind of stuff. So people want to take pictures and all right. So they won't let him in. So that probably made him even madder. Okay, so Parks went to the ICAST offices, patent in hand, and met with the American Sport Fishing Association's on-site legal counsel. The lawyer was right there. The lure, Parks told them, was an exact duplicate. Together, Parks, Strike King officials, and the buying group collaborated with ICAST officials to determine the manufacturer of the product, and the product was manufactured by Shanghai-based Headstream Tackle, Shanghai. That's when his march began, and when he arrived at their booth, he found a surprise. There it is, folks, right there. Okay, he's been making that since 2006, and this is on the table. Someone copied it, okay? And here, okay, listen to this now. They recognize me, of course, Park said, and I also recognize them. They had been in our booth last year asking me if we wanted to do business with them. I told them, I remember you. I remember you coming into our booth, and you asked me if we want to do business with you. According to Parks, Headstream exhibitors met with Strike King in 2016, and while one exhibitor talked shop with his team, others took photos of the products in their booth. 1 year later, Headstream entered the Rage Tail Crawl into the 2017 ICAST New Product Showcase. I was steamed, the 5-time martial arts Hall of Famer said. One of them grabbed me by the arm, and I told him that this wasn't a time nor the place to do that. For a second, I thought this would get ugly. So anyway, I just thought that's one of the big things as a tackle manufacturer and all that you got to be aware of. And you really just have to confront it. And so many times, like Captain Joe, he didn't get a chance to do this. He actually went out of business. He's out of the tackle business because people copied it and had it made over in China, and they had it made cheaper. And he was making it here in Florida, and they had it made cheaper. And then what happened, they sold it cheaper. Of course, you go to a big box store, and most people are going to buy the cheapest one that looks like that. So that's what happened there. But now here, you got a different situation where this guy said, you're not going to copy my stuff. And this is, ironically, he's a martial arts Hall of Famer. So I assume that worked out pretty well. So yeah, that was interesting to read. Okay, let's move on. Scallops open up tomorrow. I hope to be there. Several places. You can put your boats in several places, actually 4 places that I know of. First one you come to is going to be Highland View Bridge. That's going to be a long run all the way across Apalachicola Bay, but it's a free launch. Then you go into the town, to the city of Port St. Joe at the boat ramp there. It's been a free launch forever up until about 2 years ago, and some greedy people said, we're going to start charging people from out of town $10. We're going to be greedy. And so you got to pay $10 to launch right there at Port St. Joe. And y'all know how I feel about that. It's just flat out wrong to do it, okay? Then, now I had a viewer call me. I'm not sure Presnell's, I don't know. They have not called me. I'm assuming that you still can launch at Presnell's. They've redone everything. I don't know if you've been there. They've modernized everything. You don't see them in pop-up campers there, if you get my drift. It's really a first-class campground now. And I don't know if the boat ramp is open anymore to the public or not, because it's pretty crowded. You will not be able to park in there for sure. But they haven't called me or let me know anything. So, but what else is open, of course, is the state park there. Now, what I do personally, I always just buy state park pass every year and launch there. So I would probably launch from the state park. I refuse to give those greedy people that money. Anyway, $10. Okay, Shark Week has started. Started last night. It's going to be on all week long. It's a big deal to us who watch it. I thought it was ironic that Shark Week and the scallop season opens the same week as Shark Week. So you're going to be looking over your shoulder a little bit more and getting up out of water checking. But anyway, Shark Week has started. If you haven't got a chance to pick it up, or watch it or not. All right, now, speaking of scallops, every year we get new people moving in and all, and it's great. And a lot of folks, I get a lot of feedback from them. They want to know this, want to know how to do this, where to go and all that. And we're always willing to help you and all. And a lot of people want to know how to clean scallops. So I have this little 2-minute, 44-second video on how to clean scallops. And it's a situation where, like I say, you can clean them, take them home and clean them or whatever. And I see so many people do different things. And now I'm seeing people put them in ice and keep them packed in ice. But what you want to do, you want to set them out. If you set them out, they will open up. And of course, you don't leave them out all day before you clean them because they dry out. But set them out, 10 or 15 minutes, they'll start opening up. And that's real easy. If you pack them in ice, they're going to stay closed the whole time. Then you got to sort of get in there. So don't pack them in ice. But I see people doing that. So anyway, here's how to clean scallops. I'm out on St. Joe Bay, just Gail and I, and we, as always, just have a great trip. So let's watch this video on how to clean scallops. Okay, a lot of folks want to know how to clean scallops. Now, it's a real simple procedure. The most important thing is decide whether you're going to clean them back at the house or on the boat. A lot of times we like to clean them on a boat, and that's what we're doing today. The first thing to remember, when you get out of the water and maybe eat a little picnic or something, go ahead and put the scallops, lay them out on the deck somewhere. And when you do that, they're going to start opening up. You notice these, we just got a 5-gallon bucket full today. Usually that's about all we'll get, a 5-gallon bucket full. That's enough to feed a couple of times. But notice how they start opening up already. This one right here. Another thing I want you to notice is the two colors. So you have a dark side and a light side. Okay, that's a good size scallop. Light side and dark side. Okay, step one. You want to put the dark side up top, the light side on bottom. Now on the scallop knife, you have a little curve in it, a little curvature right there. So you're going to go on the side right here and just pry it open, okay? This is a healthy one. You pry it open. Now, once you got it open, hold it right there and take the curve of the knife and run along the top of the shell, okay? Run on the top of the shell right there, and you go and break it off. You don't want to leave any meat on it, and you toss it back in the bay. Now, what you want to do now, this is the important part right here, start scraping down a little bit and get these guts that surround the muscle, get them in one hand between your thumb and the blade, and then pull right off, just like that. Real simple, and leave just real clean piece of meat, about thumb size. That's a nice scallop. Take the guts, toss them, and now take the same curvature right there, and you're gonna curve it right here. Clean that completely off. There's your scallop. Drop it down. Always have a little bowl with you. Drop it down right there. Don't leave any meat on the shell. Toss it, and that's how you clean scallops. Chester on Panhandle Outdoors. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. You see, basically what you do is really simple, and the more you suck them out, the better you are at it. And it's a lot of fun, and it's good to eat them fresh that night. So good luck tomorrow. If you see me out there, give me a call. But I also had the courtesy to stay about 100 yards away from people. You see people anchored up and they're out there scalloping, make sure you got your dive flag up. And if you're coming up to them, don't go up there and say, hey, y'all getting any? You want to stay about 100 yards away from them and find your own scallops, okay? And don't go swimming over by them. And that most people are good about that, but every now and then there's some yahoo that just sort of irritates you. But just enjoy it. Okay, now let's move on. Look at the fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 1:37 to 3:37 this morning and this evening from 2:05 to 4:05. And I don't know if scallops are going to be doing on that feeding habit or not. That's really just mainly for fishing game. I want to mention this real quick. I got to rush through it because I'm about to run out of time. But we're talking about the tagged redfish. Okay, guess what, folks? Check it. They caught a tagged redfish yesterday. Well, actually, it was Saturday. They caught them in, guess where? Check it out right here, Grand Lagoon. An unregistered angler caught this 216 tagged redfish this morning in Grand Lagoon in Bay County. But now here's the kicker to it. He will not. There's still some boats still left. That GMC truck is still left as a prize, but they wouldn't have won it because this was a 2016 redfish. It was tagged. Go down this bottom paragraph right here. The fish had been on the loose for 422 days since we released him last year. He also grew 2.5 inches during that time. He must have really liked his home because he stayed in the general area the whole time. And there it is right there. He's not there now. But if you catch a tagged redfish, you only, from the previous years, you'll only win $1,000 worth of like a cooler stuff and a package of $1,000. You won't win the truck or the boat. So that might be my luck. I'll catch one of last year's. But anyway, there's still some more here, and I promise you, I don't know. I can't promise you there'll be some more caught, but we'll make sure you register. But what I wanted to tell you real quick. Red fishing. Those redfish now, one of the secrets, people, they don't migrate that much. I've read some redfish studies. The last one the state did. I'm going to have to go over this tomorrow, but I want to tell you about the redfish study. But keep in mind, they're the most active months of the year are really late September and October. They're really moving around then, but they're not going to go from here over there to, for the most part, to Louisiana or whatever. They're going to sort of stay in the general area. I've run out of time. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow because I want to tell you more about it. So thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. It was a great show today, and I hope you enjoyed it. You do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.